Thanks for your video response, Marlon Raven song. Good video, very informative. And, you know, I too also remember the Satanic Panic. I'm only 33, so I just caught the tail end of it back in the late 80s, early 90s. But that's what actually turned me on to Satanism, is all the, you know, the sensationalized and hysteria. I wanted to see what it was all about, and that's what actually led me to pick up the Satanic Bible primarily. Was all this media exposure regarding Satanism. For those of you that don't know what the Satanic Panic was, if you're foreign or young, or somehow were asleep for about 10 years, somewhere in the late 80s, the Satanic Panic is pretty much was hysteria, mass-wide hysteria revolving Satanism that swept through this country. I mean, it was all over the media, man. People were writing books, they were making movies, you know, musicians were getting dragged into court. Preschools are getting shut down because they were alleged satanic, you know, underground cults and shit. It was big. People like Bob Larson, that dickhead talk show or evangelist, got his start riding the wave of the Satanic Panic. He wrote several books about it too. Anyway, yeah, it was a weird time, man. It was a weird time people to live, you know, with all this going around. I mean, we had psychoanalysts, you know, probing mentally sick people's minds to get them to talk about forgotten satanic ritual abuse and shit like that. It was crazy, man. It was like, you know, have you guys ever seen, like, you know, people that have remember being abducted by aliens? It's kind of the same thing, you know. If you get the right person picking around in your brain and you're a sick individual, convince you of anything. Anyway, this Satanic Panic was interesting. It's primarily a money-generating scheme, I think. I mean, it's hard to point exactly how it got started, but I think what happened was a few TV evangelists to make money and to scare the shit out of people into going to church and paying them money, started these rumors about satanic ritual abuse. And then people wrote books, you know, and yada yada, and just kind of tumbleweeded through there. Here's the part, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, with satanic ritual abuse, in the late 80s, early 90s, the FBI did a thorough investigation into these allegations, and they come up with nothing. They come up with very few handful of mentally ill individuals going around doing crimes in the name of Satan or God. You know, a lot of these people, if you look at serial killers, most serial killers are very religious. You know, most of them are Christians, you know, well, in their mind they are. So yeah, the whole satanic ritual abuse thing, the whole Satanic Panic, it was totally unfounded, and it made millions and millions of dollars to people. It built people's careers, like Bob Larson and their talk shows, and even the likes of fucking the idiotic Paul Valentine. You know, he got his 15 minutes of fame during the Satanic Panic too, because he was a guy that wanted to cash in. He saw an opportunity to appear on talk shows that no other respected Satanist would even fucking touch, and he did it. And here he is, still on YouTube, begging for money. Don't get me started on Paul Valentine. Okay. But yeah, and you know, here's the thing you gotta remember, people, is sick people do sick things, okay? Regardless if it's in the name of the devil, in the name of the Lord. It's usually in the name of the Lord. But regardless of what they, you know, actually believe, they rationalize their murderous rage on religion. It's a scapegoat. Basically, it's an easy way to get out, and sometimes it's saved them from the death penalty because, you know, they're crazy and they act crazy. Like Richard Ramirez, that guy's not a Satanist. That guy is a sick motherfucker, man. You know, and there's nothing satanic about raping and killing old women. He didn't even have the balls to kill men. He killed women, old women. Anyway, don't get me started on Richard Ramirez anyway. I'm kind of fascinated by serial killers, but he's definitely not a Satanist, although he likes to use satanic trappings. Richard Ramirez is just a sick, twisted motherfucker. But yeah, that's it. I'm kind of rambling now. Thanks for your video response, man. I look forward to more. Take care.